Hello, everyone. It's the modern day Nana. Okay, now I did this on purpose. I got a big old mess on the table because I have got to make another hat, and my granddaughter made off with my hat, and she's away at college. So I needed a hat for something, and I thought, oh, we'll just whip one up. Well, as you're going to see, this turned into a pretty big project. I mean, I had a blast doing it, but yeah, it was a lot of messing around. A lot of, I'm not going to say changing my mind, but anyway. All right, this what I'm holding is it is literally, look at this mess. It is bits and pieces that I thought would work with what I was trying to do. Here's a little grapevine wreath that I tore the stuff off of. Um, that is just a little thin, cheapy, see, plastic top hat. And I had those from the Dollar Tree as well. So we do something with those. That ribbon that I was holding up is the tie strip. Oh, there's a crow from the Dollar Tree. It's the strip off of a skirt. That's just some of that mesh um, netting. This is a little green, it's gorgeous, a little green velvet jacket, and this is the liner of a skirt that I had. Um, I just love that yarn, and so I thought, well, I just gathered stuff together. I wanted to make kind of a nature witch's hat, which we already did, but this one ends up being quite a bit different. Those I got at Hobby Lobby just this fall. Those I thrifted, and they're so pretty. Unfortunately, as I gob stuff on, there's a little nest, some old tulle I had from one of the girls' weddings years ago. That I got in the wedding stuff. It's just got a wire to it. I thought, well, I might need that. Moss, leftover moss from the wedding we just did. And there's some reindeer moss and some moss that I had rehydrated. I just grabbed some ribbon I thought might work, some yarn. I'm just showing you now. See, this is my process. When I'm thinking about making something, I have an idea in my head. Just grab some greenery, some stuff I thought might work. And then I go around and collect. I think those are, I'm not sure what kind of feathers those are. I think my girlfriend gave them to me. They might be turkey. I'm pretty sure they are. Anyway, so I just go around and grab the stuff I think I'm going to use and pile it up on a pile. That's kind of the way I generally go about making something. So I wanted to make a hat, but I was thinking, I had those little, see, I had those little thin ones, and I thought to make the hat more sturdy, I would just cut those and stick them inside the little black top hat. So that's what we're going to do here. So I just cut those off. Just cut, cut the rim off of the hat. And I'm just going to stick those down in that plastic top hat. And I'm not sure, I'm sure I got it at Dollar Tree at some point. I've had it a while. So then I have to cut the sides down because it's a little too big. So I just make some cuts in the sides so that when I stick it down in the black top hat, it's nice and smooth in there. So that's what we're doing here, and we'll just pop it down inside of there. I was messing with this, piddling and a messing yesterday, just having fun, and it truly was just a joy just to, make something out of just basically a pile of junk. Okay, all right, now here is the green velvet, and I'm just going to cover this black hat with it because I didn't, I didn't want that to show. And it's not, honestly, you're not even going to see it when it's all said and done You're not going to see any of this, but you know, I covered it nonetheless. Now this was just a little wreath I had. Now this is where my plans started going a different direction a little bit, because originally I was thinking with that little top hat we could do like a Stevie Nicks, you know, type Rhiannon type hat, but here's where it took a turn. So I got this wreath and I ended up just putting it over the top of the hat that we put the velvet on. And then I've got that yellow, that really pretty yellow kind of mesh stuff. But this wire ribbon, basically, I had gotten at Hobby Lobby. I want to say it was probably in the Christmas stuff one year. And I think I've seen it this year because I was in there one time. So I just scrunch it down a little bit, but I just go ahead and wrap it around, and then I just take the wires in the, you know, where I'm connecting it, and just fold those over. I end up cutting a little bit of it off, but I just fold it over, and that way we don't have to glue or mess with any of that. So that's what we end up doing there. And then I've got some that green tulle and that yellow that we see in the background. I am loving that kind of mustard yellow color. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really loving that for fall. I've got a couple of tops and a dress actually that, well, the dress is summer, but that are that color. And yeah, I'm just really liking that. So, all right, well, we get this cut off, and you know, you're not going to see where that grapevine is. You can see where I pull the stuff. You're not going to see any of that. Matter of fact, you're hardly going to see any of this that we end up doing. I just keep going and going and going with this thing. I cut this down so much, you know, cut out so much of it because it was just literally several hours long. So I'm fixing and a working here, getting that done. Got my little sweatshirt on because it's actually started getting a little cool here now. I'm kind of sad about it. I was supposed to go out with my girlfriends tonight, and I went out and did stuff today, and I got home and I'm like, it's dark, it's cold. I'm just raking all this off right into the floor, you guys. I sweep it all up before I go to bed. But I'm just like, let's just rake it off on the floor. All right. Now this is that tie. Now I have told you this story in different videos several times, but this is one of those skirts that you're supposed to be able to wear 100 ways. You know, inside out, blah, blah, blah. Well, I swear to you, I never figured out how to wear it once. But to my credit, and I've said this before, it was too big for me. It was just too big. And that's why. So I ended up, I'm sure I've showed you in the past, I made a wreath out of the skirt part, but this is, you know, the tie. So I thought, okay, I like these colors. We'll go ahead and make this kind of a band for our hat, and then we'll let it hang down in the back. See, I was still kind of thinking that Stevie Nicks idea, you know, kind of the gypsy woman hat, but it didn't turn out anything like that at all. But I would like to do that, and in the future I'm definitely going to do that. So I'm just wrapping this around, and it was super duper duper long, so we had enough to make some really good tails that come out the back of it. And I used the little not burn your fingerprints off glue gun, because this hat was plastic, you know, it was just that cheap plastic stuff, and I thought, that's going to burn right through it. So I used one of these little small low temp glue guns, and it worked out really well. So, you know, unless you're trying to really hold something, I would really hold something, this would be fine. So I'm just piddling and messing, and I just went out and I was working on getting all the fall stuff put away because I promised y'all that we were going to start Christmas. And after this video, we're going to, but I needed a hat. So I thought, well, might as well put it on. And I didn't think it was going to look anything like the other hat I did. But it does kind of, but not really. So, but this green velvet is beautiful. See, guys, and it's just scraps. Scraps. I didn't go out and buy anything. You know, I just scraps. This is all kind of picked out. This yellow is picked and it's kind of a mess. But I thought, well, you know, that's all right. I'm gonna be a nature witch, a green witch, I think would be what you would call. So I thought, oh, it's okay. And plus, it gets covered up. So, and then I end up using that piece in the back for a tail later on. So I'm just going to tie this on, and I'm just laying down a base. So, you know, that's the thing too, guys. When you start to make something, sometimes you do a lot of work that nobody actually sees. You know, you start with your base and you start layering it down. This did not end up being too heavy to wear or anything like that. I think it actually kind of helped it to have a little weight with the stuff we put on top because, you know, well, it was just this plastic hat to begin with. You'll see what happens toward the end, though. We go a whole different direction, but it turns out so cute. So I'm just gluing her down here, and got my big mess in the background. We got pine cones. We have those mushrooms we're going to make a cute little thing out of. We've got, let me see, lots of moss. I use several different kinds of moss. Oh, all this wood slab over here. See the wood slab down in the bottom of the screen? We're going to use that. And that little green moss skull. I got those at Goodwill. It was like 99 cents. It was probably, you know, it was one of those overstock things that people gave them. Now this tool, I'm just going to take a piece of it, got it, I want to say for my daughter that got married, probably been 13 years ago. I mean, what are you going to do though, right? You know, you got it. I've just got like a little bin, a little plastic bin that's got tool in it. And so I'm getting more organized. So, you know, it's a work in progress, guys. I'm not going to beat myself up for it, but you do piddle around and waste time when you're not real organized looking for stuff. And, you know, if you don't mind that or you have the time, that works fine. But, you know, if you're kind of crunched for time and you're spending a bunch of time looking for stuff, it's like, oh, man, I wish I was better organized. But, like I said, you know, let's not beat ourselves up. We're a work in progress, so that's what I'm doing. You know, I just try to get a little more organized all the time. And there we go. All right, okay. Now that little wood round is from, see that wax on the top there? That little wood round is from the wedding stuff. We had candles sitting on them. And I am going to put this wood round right on the top of the hat. And I just thought, it wouldn't have mattered. And again, you don't end up seeing really any of the wood round. Maybe a little peek here and there, but so it didn't matter to me if that candle wax was on top. Look how cute that skull is. Those are adorable. So we're going to get him glued on. I kind of set him down to see where, you know, where he would hit at. And then kind of went from there. And just glued him down. We got a bunch of little glue guns when we were doing wedding stuff, so now I have plenty of those little low temp glue guns too. So that's nice, you know. One of the granddaughters came over earlier in the week and needed a glue gun, some glue sticks, so I had some to give her. All right. Okay, so I've made my little train here. And as you can see, I cut a ton out of me messing around. I put moss all around the base of that little wood base, and I use those several different kinds of moss. I used some pine cones, and then I went around the little grapevine part, put that big pretty sunflower, leaves, greenery. Um, Now here I am just wrapping up these feathers because I wanted to use them, and I'm going to dangle them down. I just twisted a piece of, that thin ribbon over it. And I took a couple of gold ones too. I got a baggie that had quite a few in it, at the thrift store, they were painted gold on one side. They're real feathers. So I added a couple of those in. And I'm just going to twist this around, glue it down, see the gold there. And we're going to let that hang down with our other things. So we've got some of the band of the skirt and some of that tulle, these feathers, and that's going to kind of be our train for our hat. But I just had miscellaneous stuff. And, I have my, like a little container, well, it's kind of a big container of just miscellaneous greenery. I'm just holding it up to see, and you can trim it off. It is full of moss. It's a mess. But hey, you're an earth witch, a green witch, a garden witch. Bound to have some moss here and there. I'm just tying all that together with a little piece of that ribbon, and I'm going to glue it onto the back. I got these adorable succulents, and I'd showed them to you at wedding time. There we go. And I stick a bunch of those on too, and they are so stinking cute. I got them at Walmart. They were in like where you do, I think they were little fillers for like vases. Oh, I'm showing you that ring. That ring there it was on that wreath. Like it was what was holding that wreath. So I thought, okay, well maybe we can tie all of this onto it. So I put through what I already have from tying it around the hat. And then I'm thinking, I'm just going to run this through and tie it on. But as you'll see, when I get it up there, I'm like, I think I try it down there to see what I think, but then I like it up. See down here? That's where that is. I like it better up there. And that's what you have to do. Just kind of as you go, see where you like things better. And, make an executive decision. It's your work of art. I mean, I feel like this is actually a work of art, guys. I really enjoyed putting it together. And so I'm just going to hold that there, and then I get one of the little succulents and, stick it in the middle to have a little something. I have to hold it there for a minute, but we get her down nice and good. After that glue dries or, starts to get warm. Oh, there they are. See that little, it was just a little plastic container. Yeah, they had them on clearance. They were in the, with the vases and the sand, the bowl filler stuff or vase filler stuff. So I'm just holding that on there, and I just dolled it up, I just twirled it around. I should have had my Lazy Susan. I thought about it part way through, but, that's all right. I just actually opened up some paper bags that I had from the grocery store, and laid them out on the table because I didn't want to hurt the table. And because I'm crafting inside, I've been outside. If you've watched any of the videos, I've been outside spring, summer, and fall. And yep, it's running me inside. It's getting chilly. This didn't want to stick, but you know, I was determined. I think I was just impatient with it. But yeah, all of these are just scrap flowers, things I had that I just eyed and decided what I liked, and you know, just kind of put it together. All right, we're about to get it. There we go. Okay. See, we've got our little feathers down there hanging. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, you can't really see. Here's a little piece of this pearl garland I picked up at the thrift store. You can see bits and pieces of it in the finished product throughout the hat, but only little bits and pieces. You can't see really much of it, but you know, like I said again, it's a process, and you know, so if things get covered up, you know, it's fine. I'm my own worst critic, probably, like we all are, right? So, you know, all right, we got that done. Now, now I'm really taking a turn, you guys. All right, so I had got the hat done, and it was just the hat like I showed you. I did put a liner in it that you can see there slightly. It was that light green, the inside of that skirt, the lining of that skirt. I had saved. I love the color, but you know, I ended up thinking better of it, and I show you. All right, I'm gonna put some of this moss away. I've got quite the mess. But I put a little, I think, oh, hopefully you can see it up there in the corner. In one of his eyes, I put one of those little succulents, and I put a little vine coming out of it. And you can see I put 3 little of the mushrooms, the cute little velvet mushrooms. So you get a good look at it. Just bits and pieces of stuff I had. Okay, so here is where okay, up, okay, here, you guys, it took a turn. All right, I did, I'm throwing my hands up in the air, I'm like, okay, well, what happened was, I didn't like the brim on that, so look at me, I just cut the thing off. I'm like, you know what, cut it off, don't worry about it. I had this straw hat. It's a really nice, well-made hat. And I thought, let me get this hat and see if it will do it, because I felt like it needed a brim, okay? And you couldn't really see the brim of the hat after, like I said, it took a turn where I put that grapevine wreath on it. We'll have to make another one and make it more like a Stevie Nicks hat. So, all right, so then I'm gluing the wreath. I know, I'm like, you know, do I want to be able to pull his hat off and use it for something else, or do I want to glue this down? Well, it needed to be glued down because there was too much of a gap when I put the hat on. The brim came down, and then you could see kind of up under the grapevine part, because the brim's like all turned up now, but when you put it on, it's turned down. And I didn't do it in this one, but I will, maybe just on the shorts, I'll give you guys a picture of me in the hat with my, oh, here it is, with my my dress on. Okay, so what I ended up doing was I went underneath the grapevine wreath and I put a bunch of greenery. That's a long and short of it. I put greenery, I put moss, I put some pine cones. I had to fill in between the brim and the grapevine, so that's what happened there. But honestly, look how stinking cute this is. And it's really not that heavy. And it'll sit on my head however I want it. So there you go. All right. It's the modern day nanny, you guys. I hope you'll like and subscribe. And I promise we're going to get into Christmas now. Bye.